Hello my loves! Right, today we're going to do this stunning 3D jelly French. I just love it. What a cool twist on the 3D French. I mean, why not? So, all I've done is I've taken what was a stiletto practice tip and I've just turned it into a softer almond type shape because I think it flows nicer with the 3D French kind of style. I'm using two Madame Glam gels, which are from the new collection 2 of a kind. This is called Boy Bye and this is called Heartbreaker. And I'll just show you what they're like if you don't remember from the swatch video. They're kind of like a jelly effect gel. So they've got that kind of clarity running through them. It's a little bit more opaque on the blue, but I think that's just because it's a darker colour. I'm also using a different nail bed colour. Now this is old, but this is it's soft almond, I think, from Glitterbows, because I just felt like this colour would go better. So yes, it's in the old packaging because it's a very old powder of mine. I'm still using my Nailmate Monomer and Crystal Clear because I only really use Nailmate. It's just I wanted this particular nail bed colour on this design. I don't normally mix like monomer with powder unless it's for design purposes, but yeah. You know, so I'm just creating the smile line. If you're not very good at smile lines and you get really stressed out with it, do not fear, because I have a short course on smile lines and it goes right into depth and really helps you with all the little tips and tricks. So, you know, there's always that. I'll put the website link in the description. But we're just going to apply the second bead, blend that into the first bead, and you've got your smile line. Simple when you know how, like anything, isn't it? Sorry if you can hear my dog in the background. He's like licking his lips. You know when they've just eaten and then they continue to make a series of really disgusting noises? That's what he's doing. So I'm just going to make sure that all flows nicely and then we'll leave it to set for a couple of minutes because it needs to be firm before we can file in that smile line. Just pat in the side where it's starting to move out a little bit because we don't want that. So as if by magic, we'll skip forward. There we are. It's nice and firm, so I'm going to take a steel 180 grit file and just file in that smile line. What it does is make sure that surface is smooth, so easier to paint up against, and even, and make sure it's nice and kind of snatched, you know, snatched. Snatch that smile line, honey. Remember, when you're coming down the bottom, you must rotate your file like a swooping motion and not flat, because you'll end up with a point, like a chevron, instead of a soft almondy smile line. Obviously, if you're doing this on a stiletto nail, probably either a really deep French or a chevron would look better. But yeah. So I'm going to go over the whole top piece with just a 180 grit file now. And just smooth that all out. If I do it now, there's less to do at the end, so I might as well do it now. Bring that product down to the thickness I want, have a nice even surface, and then it's going to be much easier going forward. So I've cleaned all the dust off. There's a little bit of floof. Get out of it. Destroy the fluff. Okay, let's get that green gel. So this is, I can't remember what this one was called now. Boy Bye, that's what it's called. So I've popped that onto my palette that Just Joe, nail artist, made for me. My trusty palette. I'm going to take a detailer brush and start painting. Now with a 3D French, we paint up the side of this wall that we've made and slightly up to the top of it. I'm not going over, like drastically over, but I'm going right up to the top of that line where it starts to become the top surface of the nail, and that's what gives it that three-dimensional deep look. Whereas, you know, back in the day when I did French, it wouldn't necessarily come right up and over. It's more kind of like in line with the mid-range of the wall. So working in small sections, just gliding that product up, and that's why it's important to file that line in as well, so you can glide your next layer of product on nice and smooth. I also better add that I had buffed this tip first because I knew I'd be using gel on it. I wouldn't have buffed it if it was acrylic. So just making sure that touches right on that line. which is what's going to give it that crazy cool 3D effect. There we go. And then we're just going to get some gel and bring that down. It doesn't matter if you bring the gel down further than your smile line ends up going, because we're going to apply another colour of gel anyway. Now I must admit, with jelly gels, I was trying to be a little bit more precise than I would be if I was using coloured gels, because I think if they're more opaque, it doesn't really make much difference. That was Oliver walking past and whacking my desk and lamp and stuff with his butt. He was pushing past the side of my desk to try and get something. There we are, that needs to go in the lamp and cure. So once that's fully cured, I'm going to go in with a bead of clear acrylic and just walk that bead up the sides, encapsulate all of that gel and attach it, you know, to the smile line so that it all becomes one area. Nice and easy. My dog's making himself a nest out of the covers. You all right there, mate? And then as that bead starts to cure, it's going to be easier to take the side of your brush and just nudge it into place. Hello, buddy boy. Ooh, he's an old boy now. So just using that brush to tickle that smile line. And once I'm happy with it, I'll let it set. Once it's fully set, we can go in and file it all in exactly the same as you do with the first smile line. I do really love this effect. First time I tried 3D French, I think it looked awful. I didn't like it at all. I was rubbish at it. Right, so I'm going to take the 180 grit file again and do the same thing. Going to sort of firm up that wall at the side, make it even, make it smooth, make it strong, so that we've got something to butt the next colour up against. And then I'll grab my 180 grit normal file and I will smooth over the entire surface of the nail. Okie dokie, so that's done. I've wiped over it with isopropyl alcohol and I'm going to take that blue gel, which is Heartbreaker. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to take the gel, I'm going to butt it up against the wall, up to the top, right up, and then pull it right down to the very, very tip. So I'm just going to let you watch this bit. And then once it's done, we'll encapsulate it with clear acrylic once it's cured in the lamp. Lovely jubbly. Blend that all in. Now I did put a bit too much acrylic on, so I'll show you how I've dealt with that. I've taken it up where I need it to be, made sure I've got plenty in the areas where it is required. And then I'm simply just going to get rid of what I don't need. So as it's starting to polymerize, it's becoming firmer and firmer and it becomes a lot easier to manipulate. So I'm just going to take a nice clean brush and walk that bead down the nail. I know I've gone past the tip, but that's the whole point. I'm dragging what I don't need off the nail, and then I will literally use my brush and kind of scrape it off using the tip of the nail as a guide. Like that. And it got stuck to my glove, which was hilariously clumsy looking, but it worked. And then I'm just going to neaten up that edge. And because we've taken the time to file on the first 2 steps and to even out the surface of the nail, there's real minimal filing to do at the end. So it's worth it because it already looks lovely and I've still got to refine it yet. So it's set, the acrylic's nice and hard. I'm now going to run over the whole nail and file it, straighten up those side walls, make sure I've got that lovely almond curve. And then just go over the surface of the nail. And then once I'm happy with the surface of the nail, that it's nice and level and I'm happy with the way it looks, I'm then just going to give it a buff with a 180 grit, because where I'm dealing with like a jelly effect, I want a bit more clarity within that clear acrylic. So buffing over the entire nail. I love doing this forwards backwards motion rather than sort of always going side to side. I do like going up and down the nail and rotating my file as I go. And then once I'm happy with that, I'll grab my buffer, give it a buff, bum dilly dum dum. Just take out any scratches that are in the nail. It'll make top coating so much more enjoyable. Oh, it's falling all over my fingers. Hate wearing gloves, but you know. And then get it wiped over with some isopropyl alcohol. Look how beautiful that is. And once that's nice and clean, we're going to go ahead and top coat. I'm using Madam Glam's tack-free top coat. And that is the nail done. Look how lovely it is. Tag me if you try it. If you don't have a jelly gel, just mix a bit of colour in with some clear and you will have a jelly gel. So don't even stress about it. Don't forget to like, subscribe and check out my description box for my details of the website, the courses that I hold and how to get hold of these products. I'll see you in my next video. Tally bye! I feel unbreakable. Unbreakable.